Well, that's all she wrote. It just blew up.
Bottom end?
Yeah. Yep, you can see a hole in the case.
Yo,
I know, I'm glad we didn't get out there and that happened, but you guys can see it right there.
damn it, right when I got the fucking phone set up, everything.
That sucks. Wow. That was like the cleanest break ever, though. All I heard was just like... Well, I might as well just let it puke its guts out now and not in the truck.
Oh, yeah.
Try to crank it.
Huh?
Try to crank it.
Oh, yeah. Woo! There's probably not a piston.
It's done, dude.
No compression whatsoever.
Oh my god. Well, now I gotta get a case half for sure, but I mean, at this point, I'm gonna just do a big bore stroker.
Yeah, there you go. Could it? Do you think it's piston or do you think it's bottom end?
And
And
it's
just
bottom end.
spinning.
There's a hole in the
Yeah.
case.
Where?
Right in front.
Oh, I didn't hear
That's
you.
where it's leaking out at.
Where?
Right there.
Oh shit. Oh, I got it. Yeah, I think it through the.
You can.
Yeah. Okay, so it's just spinning.
Yeah. Yep. Look at this. The fucking crankcase thing is just like puking
Foaming.
smoke. Look at that. I gotta say, guys, at this point, I'm not even upset that the engine blew. Like, I'm not upset at all. But I gotta say, this is probably the most annoying part to me right here. Having all this freaking oil in the bed of my truck. Like, literally, fluid spills is the worst thing to me. It's just a pain in the ass cleaning all this crap. But, yeah, you can see I got oil, like, all in the bed. And I think I recorded where the crack is in the case, but it's, like, right in this area. But I'm gonna get all this stuff cleaned up and actually get prepared to make a teardown video for you guys so we can go over the damage together. So yeah, just stay tuned. This is so un-Georgia like. This is what we come home to in Michigan. Alright, so as you guys saw in my last video, unfortunately the YZ is hurt. So it happened when we were out riding in the Tennessee mountains, which sucks because when I made that video, I didn't even get the best part of the area that we were riding in. Like, I swear, like, I kid you not, it was literally like a Tail of the Dragon for bikes. We had actually went to Tail of the Dragon the night before, and we almost got stuck on the road because there was like a almost like a rainstorm tornado, and like trees were falling and shit. But we did that at night, which was kind of crazy. But so we ended up going. So on our way home, because I'm from Michigan and we were down in Georgia, so we wanted to find an area to ride, like that we would cross paths with on our way home. So we stopped in Kentucky and we found like this really nice area. Rode around there for a little bit. I actually dropped my bike when I was up there. I mean, nothing got damaged or anything, but so we went back to the truck. I filled up, and then we were going to do one more pass around this whole road that we found. So on the way to make the second go around, I hear a loud pop. Like, it literally sounded like someone took a sledgehammer and hit the crankcase of the motor. So as you know, let me see if I can grab a light. get a shop. All right. And oops, there you go, right there. So you can see that is well, can I find it? Right there. You hear that? Looks like a rod to me. So for right now, I'm going to actually pull the tank off, drain the fuel, and I'm going to pull the spark plug and see what that looks like. Because as of right now, like the motor actually still turns over, like it's not locked. So maybe I got lucky. And then as you can see from what I just showed you, only one case half got damaged. But knowing me, I probably will replace both because, I mean, you probably can't see it with your eye, but there might be a micro crack in the other case as well. So, as of right now, it just looks like a rod failure. Just like I said, when it happened, the motor, you could actually hear the crank turning over. So, I mean, it's not completely bad. I mean, it was really expected to happen. I mean, like I literally have like over 160 hours on this bottom end, 60 of them being naturally aspirated, with me, you know, just running an FMF pipe and trying out different fuels. Like I tried out T4, MR12. So I was even beating on it back then when it was NA. And then 100 of those hours were actually when I added the turbo to the equation. So that's a little bit before I started vlogging this whole build. I was, you know, posting about it here and there. But yeah, I've like, when I first turboed this thing, it was back in April of 2021. And I literally like ride every day. Every day it's nice. I'm out riding. Some days I'm on this thing for like 8 hours or more. So I'm probably shortchanging how many hours are really on this bottom end. But I mean, I've actually been dying to take it apart anyway. That's just a part of who I am. I just can't leave anything alone. So I mean, this was the best time for something like this to happen, because this setup right here was really more so of a test. Now that I know that the turbo system actually works, now I can actually start, you know, spending some money and investing a lot more time when it comes to designing these kits, for designing the new kit for this bike. So I already got something in mind that I want to try, but yeah, I'll be documenting this whole process. And I'll also be making a teardown video, which I'll probably add later in the clips of this video. So stay tuned. I'm going to drain the fuel, and then I'm going to try to get a look into the spark plug hole and see if the piston is actually damaged. But I'm feeling like it probably isn't. The liner might be cracked because I did see a coolant leak when the failure occurred. So I'm thinking that it probably cracked the liner. But yeah, so yeah, let me pull this apart and go from there. Alright, so I got the fuel drain. I actually just pulled the plug out of the head. And from what I see, I mean, let's see if it'll focus. The plug doesn't look too bad at all. Like, this actually looks like really optimal. Like, you would want to see this. Typically, if it's like pre-ignition or detonation going on, you would see peppering on the plug. And by peppering, I'm actually meaning like melted aluminum, which is piston material. But this doesn't look too bad at all. Granted, when I pulled this out, it did have coolant on it, but I'm thinking that maybe when the rod snapped, probably took out the bottom portion of the liner where it meets the water jacket. So yeah, I'm gonna keep tearing into it, and I mean, from what I see inside the spark plug hole, right, you probably won't be able to see this. Yeah, you guys probably won't be able to see this. But, I mean, I can still, the piston still looks like it's intact. I mean, I see a little bit of, looks like coolant is on it, but that's to be expected. So I'm going to rip into this a little bit more and see what we see. I'll probably throw it on the time lapse after I end this, but yeah, so. Alright, so this is actually one area that I want to change with the new setup right here. This is the plenum right here. You can see it's a raised design. Generally, the more plenum volume you add, the better. A rule of thumb with the single cylinders is typically you would want this to be about 4 to 5 times the cc of whatever the engine is. So essentially 450 cc times 5. Mine is, I want to say mine is right around 4. I want to say maybe 20. Let me see, what is it? I think it's 2,500 cc's of plenum volume, and that's in conjunction with the upper and the lower, which is the stock rubber or polyurethane piece that the stock air filter goes on. And one way I measure that is by just basically taking a water cup and seeing how many cups it would take to fill this entire plenum up with water. And I want to say it was around 2,400 cc or 2,500 cc. I was like right in that ballpark, like where you would want to be as far as plenum volume goes. So I'm gonna pull this off and go from there. Yeah, I should note, the reason why I want to change this setup is actually because I feel like this had me chasing my tail a lot with this setup, because as you can see, it's kind of a wide spread with the bolt spacing here, and that's particularly not ideal, especially on something that you are trying to seal. In a perfect world, I would like a much tighter bolt spacing with more fasteners so you have more clamping force. So I think I've always dealt with a slight leak on this seal right here. This gray stuff that you see here, this is actually like a really heavy duty RTV. It's the right stuff. That's actually what it's called. And this is actually used pretty prevalent in racing, and it works pretty good with sealing up intake manifolds. And you'll have guys use this instead of a gasket and throw 60 to 80 pounds of boost at their combination, and it won't leak at all. So this stuff is pretty good. But yeah, I just got all the bolts out, so let's pop it off. And then you can see basically what I did is this is basically like a 5-piece plenum. I bought one of the twin air filter kits because it's a much more it's a nice base to use when trying to build a plenum off of it because of the skeletal design. So and then you get a little bit more rigidity with your plenum too, because you have these struts going to each corner of it. So yeah, that's pretty. I just basically salvaged the cage portion piece from a twin air filter kit for a YZ450, and then we built onto that with, you know, individual aluminum sections. And I also added a pressure port right here. I never got a chance to test it out, but this port was basically a pressure port for me to hook an air compressor up to this plenum to ensure that it was sealing. Never got a chance to test it out. I hate that I didn't, because now I'm kind of shooting in the dark. But this is a nice little test port addition that we put on here, just to, you know, hit it with a shot of compressed air and see if we had any leaks around this sealing area right here. And man, this is just 2-inch or an 1.75" V-band right here. It's either 2-inch or 1.75". I can't quite remember, but I mean, this is a pretty simplistic design though. But going forward, I would like to go with a fully welded setup. So this is one less thing that I have to worry about leaking. The reason with going with this setup is because I kind of wanted to retain as many stock components as possible. It's more relatable for people that that want to do this or toy around with the idea of putting a turbo on their bike. So this is the stock polyurethane piece. I think this what this is made out of. But yeah, only thing I changed on this is I'm using a much better worm clamp than what usually comes on here from factory. So it holds it a little bit tighter. But I would like to go to a V-band on the throttle body as well, so just to make a nice leak-free setup. So get this pulled out of here and try to get the valve cover pulled off. Alright, so got the plenum out. So as you guys can see, this is still the stock piece. Worked pretty good. I mean, I really can't complain. Really gave me no problems. I mean, other than keeping this sealed right here. Actually, I think I had a leak, like maybe like right here, somewhere in this area. Alright, so now I'm getting the injector out. I get a lot of questions regarding which injector I run, and now you can see it. This is a fuel injector development. I think it's 120 pound, rated at 3 bar. I run mine slightly less than that, so at the pressure that I run, which is maybe somewhere around like 29 psi, this injector is actually 90-ish pounds. But it works out pretty good since I run E85, because you almost need like double the injector to get you to the same place where you would be on gasoline. So so yeah, this is actually dimensionally the same size as what comes in this bike stock, which is a 386cc. It's either a Bosch or a Delphi injector. I can't quite remember. But yeah, I really haven't had any complaints out of it. I do probably plan on moving to a dual injection setup, because I feel like it might give me a little bit of more resolution in terms of idling and driving characteristics. I mean, this one hasn't been bad, but I can kind of use it to my advantage, especially with not running an intercooler, because I could just have the secondary injector come on somewhere in this charge pipe tract right here, which would actually work as a chemical intercooler in a sense. So I mean, it's definitely something I'm going to look into. I mean, honestly, I don't even know if I'm going to run the Power Commander with the new setup that I do. I might move to a Fuel Tech, because I want to monitor a lot. I want to monitor a lot more parameters than I'm able to monitor with the Power Commander. I mean, the Power Commander has been great, but it's just with the Fuel Tech, it kind of opens the horizon a little bit. So, but anyways, let's keep it moving on this. I might have to continue this tomorrow, because I cannot find the freaking Allen key for these right here, and I do not want to strip these out by using a SAE Allen wrench set, because these are metric. It's actually M5 hex bolts or Allen keys. So yeah, I'll probably continue with this tomorrow. So alright, so this is where I left off at last night. I actually had to go pick up a set of Allen keys, because I lost the correct size that I need for this valve cover, and I don't want a chance stripping them out, so I just picked these up. So I'm gonna pull the valve cover off, and we'll take a look at the valve train. Wow, so got the valve cover off. The valve train looks amazing. I'm sure you guys can see the green oil. I've been running Matol in here for quite some time now. Been pretty happy with this oil too. This stuff almost reminds me of Brad Penn. If any of you guys are in the racing scene, you'll know what oil I'm talking about. But yeah, it looks really, really good. So, I mean, I'm happy about that at least. So, I'm gonna get the cams out, get the timing chain tensioner out, and I'm gonna start pulling the head off. And we are going to tear into this a little bit more. But yeah, everything looks good top end wise. I don't see any damage so far, so I feel good about that at least. So you guys can see I removed the oil feed line, which is right there. Oil return line, which is right here, right there. And I just want to show you how easy it is to get this kit off. So, of course, on the 2021s, let me take this kit off. On the 2021s, you just have these two bolts right there. Maybe you can see it. So 1, 2. So I'm gonna pull those off and show you how to get this out. Alright, so I'm on the last bolt. I actually took the motor mount bolts off too. Let me zip this thing off. See if I can get a little bit of light. Don't fall. Alright. So everything is loose. And put this suit back on. Hopefully you guys can see this. So everything is loose. Oh, probably would have helped if I took the turbo off. Give me a second. Alright, so in order to get this turbo off, I like making stuff really simplistic. So, if you can see, I got a V-band welded to this turbine housing right here. Then I have an opposing V-band welded onto the hot side pipe. And then this is a Marmon clamp right here, or a quick release clamp. So all it takes is this one 11mm bolt to be loosened, and the turbo will pop right off. So I'll show you that in a second. So loosening this up now. Shine this light on here. And then after a while, you'll actually be able to, this piece, actually, I think I can do it now. So that's loose. This might stick a little bit because of, you know, I ride my bike. Oh, there we go, right there. Loosen right up. So, shine that right there. This is all loose. Let's see if I can get, oh, there we go. There we go. Oops, the clamp is stuck in there. Get that out of there. There we go. It's that easy. You wouldn't think it would be that easy to get off, but yeah, I plan for situations like this, so but yeah, pretty nice. And then turbo off. This comes right off. Voila, everything off in one small clean package. So I mean, I'm kind of proud of this kit for the most part. I mean, I started this whole build out of boredom. Like, I never intended to do anything like this. I just like keeping myself busy because of the extensive build that I have going on with my truck. So I just, you know, it's just a mind stimulant. So, yep, got this off. I got to pull this water crossover off right here for the top coolant port. And then I might also yank this manifold for the throttle body off, this upper intake manifold, because it can be a pain in the ass trying to get this head out from between these frame rails sometimes, and even more so because I'm running studs. So yeah, let me pull all this off, and then we can really get to the nitty-gritty of the damage. Man, those buckets still look pretty good too. What is that though? Oh, like a witness mark almost. Those look pretty good. Bearings look pretty good. Kind of see more scoring than I would like to see on these rear cam bearings, but it's part of the reason why I want to move to a ball bearing turbo. It just requires less oil, and this is already a oil feed challenged engine as it is. I can go into more detail on that later, but yeah, let me get all this stuff pulled off, and then I'm gonna yank the head off. So alright, so I didn't time lapse me taking these studs out, but this is actually something that I still find pretty funny from time to time, is that I'm really running ARP freaking head studs in a dirt bike. That's wild. I never thought I'd do something like that, but hey, it is what it is. So getting these up, probably gotta get a magnet for that one. Where's that thing at? God, I gotta get a nice tool set. This crap is horrible. This is my junk tool set anyways. Let's see. Put those in there for now. Let's see, do I have a magnet? Thought I did. I'll just use this. I can't find a magnet. Come on, get out of there. Oh, I guess it's coming out with it. Anyways, gotta pull these studs out. So once I get this done, I'll be back. Alright, so the moment of truth. Head is loose. So, oh man. That freaking hurt so bad. This thing is stuck on the dowels. Come on, thing. Jesus. I don't want the whole freaking jug off. this thing is super tight back here. Lord. Like how my ARP freaking washers just fell down in the crankcase. Alright, so finally was able to get that off. No, I did not use a screwdriver. Alright, let's see if we can get this out of here. Come on. Come on. Let's get it out of there. Let's get it out of there. Huh. That doesn't actually look bad at all. You see those ARP head studs? I got these from KMS. For those that are curious, KMS Performance. Alright, so ooh. Yeah, something's broke. So give me a second. Alright, so got the head off. Surprisingly, the piston still looks pretty good. So let's see. Pull the jug off now. Oh, I do not think that is supposed to move with that. Sheesh. This thing led me astray. Whoa. Alright, so ah, man. Honestly, to say the truth, I was expecting much worse. This is actually, this might sound surprising to some, but I was actually expecting there to be a pretty big, pretty long crack in this liner. I mean, I know this liner is toast for sure. Ooh. Sheesh. There we go. Lord have mercy. Piston is done. Piston is done. Whew. Lord. Lord. Oh my God. Holy shit. Oh my goodness, dude. This thing did a number on this. Holy shit. That's liner. Dude, I need a whole new motor. I need a whole new motor. This thing is done. Holy sh... I gotta stop cursing. I don't want to get in trouble from YouTube security. Holy crap. Let's see if I can get that out. Lord. That thing is destroyed. Whoa. Yeah, that's a lot of damage. And this is probably as far as I'll tear it down with it still on the bike, because I really want to get this out of the bike, the motor itself. Already got something in the works what I want to do as far as the new motor. But yeah, I feel like a kid in a candy store right now, because I literally live for this. I love seeing this, analyzing and tearing stuff down after a failure. I mean, it sucks, don't get me wrong, but it's like, I mean, if I didn't want this to happen, I wouldn't have never turboed the bike to begin with. So, you know, you can't leave things stock. So, yeah, it did a number on this thing. It did a number on it. Yeah, this is such a bittersweet, but man, this looks really cool. I might use this as a freaking desk ornament. Look at this, man. It took out the bottom of the liner. Look what it did to the piston pan bore. This thing is like cracked. Smushed, cracked, crackle, pop, bang. Literally everything in the book. The bore still looks really good. I don't really think this was a tuning thing. I think I just found the limit of this rod. And like I said, I had it on a more aggressive tune when we were out riding, but I didn't have a pull done on that tune on the dyno. Yeah, I think this thing was making a lot more power. And then you can see like the piston still looks great. It's nothing on this piston that sticks out to me like it was detonating. Like, it looks like it had a pretty good burn, to be honest. I don't see any type of hot spots or just anything. No lifted ring lands. It looks pretty good. But yeah, this rod is just, man, this thing is destroyed. So I'm gonna work on getting the actual bottom end, or I'm gonna actually work on getting the whole engine out of the bike now, so I can take it inside, because it's pretty cold. So I want to crack the case halves and have a look and see if the crank is salvageable. I mean, I highly doubt it. I probably won't run that crank anyways if I do build a new motor, just for peace of mind. But yeah, this has been fun. This has been fun. I hope you guys are having fun too. I hope you enjoy this as much as I do. So yeah, that's all she wrote. That is all she wrote.